Look at verse 29. Then he spoke to them a parable. Look at the fig tree and all the trees. When they are already budding, you see and know for yourselves that summer is now near. So you also, when you see these things happening, know that the kingdom of God is near. Look what it says here. Jesus told a parable referring to two categories of trees. One is the fig tree, and the other is all the trees. What do these represent? They symbolize a nation and nations. When it says all the trees, this refers to all the nations. So if we think of the nations of the world, the Soviet Union has now been dissolved, and a commonwealth of independent states has formed. In the region that was once the Soviet Union, there is now a federation of about 12 administrative divisions. Several new countries have come into existence. Before the end of the Second World War, there were about 60 nations in this world. That's before the end of the Second World War. The British Empire was referred to as the land on which the sun never sets. This is what people said. This is because Britain had dominion over so many lands around the world that it seemed as though the sunlight was always shining on at least one part of their territory. But at the end of the Second World War, most of these nations across the world became independent. Now, there are more than 180 countries in the world. Here in the Bible it says, look at all the trees when they are already budding, when they are restored. One of the trees is the fig tree. The fig tree represents the nation of Israel. So you see, when Israel, which had disappeared 2,000 years ago, and all the other nations of the world became independent, what was this to signify? Let's read it again, verse 29. Then he spoke to them a parable. Look at the fig tree and all the trees. When they are already budding, you see and know for yourselves that summer is now near. So you also, when you see these things happening, know that the kingdom of God is near. Because they don't know the Bible, people don't know the significance of all the nations becoming independent and Israel also becoming independent. They don't know why these things are happening, or what is behind it all. This has never happened in the past, but now all the nations of the world cry out for freedom and have demanded independence. What does all this mean? What is the significance of the restoration of Israel? It means the kingdom of God is near. So the history of the world, the history of this world, is a course of events with the aim of establishing the kingdom of God. Jesus said, when you see these things happening, know that the kingdom of God is near. But think about this. Are you ready to enter the kingdom of God? The kingdom of God is not open to anyone and everyone. You can't just volunteer for it and expect to get in. Please repeat after me. Unless one is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Unless one is born of water and the Spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of God. Jesus said this very clearly. The kingdom of God is near, but people are too busy with other things. We can see clearly, right in front of our eyes, that the kingdom of God is near, can't we? And yet, people don't prepare to enter in there. If you aren't born again, you can't enter the kingdom of God.